Brad, thanks so much. New developments out of Lancaster County today. Deputies making arrests in a drive-by shooting that killed a 15-year-old girl, Kershaw. In total, 4 people have been charged with the murder of Deshauna Coleman. 3 of them are barely old enough to drive. WCNC Charlotte's Indira Esquiva joining us now live with more. So, Indira, it's really just a tragedy all the way around.
Yeah, Carol, and Sheriff Lancaster County held a press conference today calling this murder senseless and random. He says Coleman was killed when a group shot into an apartment complex, giving thought to the families. Coleman was found dead on a couch at Foxwood on Sunday. We now know she was a student at high school. Sheriff Fales says she's an innocent victim in a drive-by shooting. 3 of the people arrested for her murder are minors, so their names are not being released. 2 of them are 15 years old, and the 3rd suspect is 16 years old. The 4th suspect is 20-year-old Antonio Johnson, and we do have his mugshot. Sheriff Fales believes the suspects fired at the apartment complex because of a conflict they had with another gang that regularly hangs out in that area. But today, the sheriff said their parents, the parents of the suspects, are not without blame for what happened.
It's pretty clear that these 4 individuals home in the bed, 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, I can tell you we will be finding out or trying to find out why the parents didn't know where these individuals were. And if there's other things that we can charge, we will certainly be doing that as well.
Sheriff Fales says detectives watched hours of surveillance and he says witnesses were cooperating and shared with deputies everything that they know. That led them to where they also seized 4 live. Indira Esquiva, WCNC Charlotte.
Trying to get my damn stream down. The skipping and static. It's killing me. Because I got a couple sweet stories. I'm telling you, I'm trying to get my stream down situated to get all that skipping and all the crazy crap out of the way. Because I got some good stuff to get to you. Oh my goodness. The Sun Man is going crazy out here. Look at this.
Emma Coleman, Rocky Mount, one of several defendants involved in a home invasion that left 1 man dead and another seriously injured in 2020, was sentenced Friday to 31 years in prison by a Franklin County Circuit judge. Sean Tyleckmans, 22, of Rocky Mount, was charged with 14 felonies in January 2021 after scheming to steal drugs, guns, and money from the home of some childhood friends, James Matthew Prelaman, then 18, and Justin Chase Prelaman, 20. Justin Prelaman was shot in the head and killed during the attempted armed robbery. Mans and at least 6 other men were charged in the incident. At least 2 of Mans' co-defendants already have been sentenced to 15 years in prison. A jury found Mans guilty of 12 of his 14 charges after a trial in January. A mistrial was declared on 2 charges: first-degree murder and use of a firearm in the commission of a felony. Mans was only sentenced Friday for the 12 charges on which he was previously convicted. Assistant Commonwealth's Attorney Sandra Workman indicated after the hearing that the remaining charges will be reviewed again in December. Billy Joe Prelaman, sister to James and Justin, told the court Friday about the impact the tragedy has had on her and members of the Prelaman family. The sister said James, whom she called Matt, called her the night of the shooting. Matt, who was shot 3 times, told his sister over the phone that he was dying, and that Justin, who she called Chase, was already dead. Everything about that day haunts me, she testified. We will never be okay. Mans' attorney, Perry Harold, contested the sister's remarks about her.
So her brother was shot and was able to call her and tell her she was shot 3 times by this animal thug. Okay? And we're talking this dumb shit about lease. I don't care if the stream is choppy. I'm gonna fight through it because this type of shit pissed me off.
Her brother's suffering shouldn't have been heard. My comments are not meant to diminish in any way how horrible this crime was, Harold said. but added that the scheduled sentencing was only for 12 charges, of which Mans was already convicted, not the 2 remaining charges related to the killing. But Judge Tim Allen allowed her to testify, assuring Harold he would not consider cases still pending against Mans when deciding his sentence. Mans continues to claim he is innocent. Harold said Mans testified during his trial that he was at home the night of the fatal home invasion, not at the location in question. Harold also said Mans was remorseful about what happened, as he and Justice Prelaman grew up together. Mans expressed his apologizes in a statement Friday. He said he was deeply saddened.
Yeah, man, ain't saddened about shit. You know, and I hope you get everything that's coming to you. Childhood friends you want to do. You know, it's the craziest shit ever. But I got one, and I don't care how choppy it is. I found something kind of good. So before it get big and go viral, you're going to see it on this little station here first. Okay. So I wonder, where's the outrage for this lady? Where's the privilege for this lady? How I knew about this? I don't think nobody knew. I don't know if AK, I don't know about this. Huh? So WLM don't matter for these people? Where's the outrage? I want to see outrage for this lady right here. Everybody's been saying gliders. It don't happen to gliders.
I called 911 because my son's mental health. I can't get my son back, but hopefully I can help make change.
Change, so other families don't have to go through the same pain. Boise police officers shot 26-year-old Zachary Snow, ultimately killing him almost a year ago. Snow's mother wants justice.
You heard that? Police shot and killed him a year ago. It was about that time. So she has to go through all this. No outrage. Let's see what's going on.
She filed a lawsuit against the city of Boise, 2 police officers and 10 unnamed people, accusing the officers of wrongfully killing her mentally ill son. Our Abby Davis was at a news conference where Snow's mom and her attorneys announced this lawsuit earlier. Abby, what'd you learn?
Snow's mother, Melissa Walton,
This shit finna get crazy.
knows nothing can ever bring her son back, but she hopes this lawsuit prevents something like this from ever happening again.
I took this picture of my son about a month before he was killed. He was so kind and outgoing and a fashion sense like there was no tomorrow.
But Zachary Snow dealt with demons and struggled with his mental health. On October 27th, 2021, he was threatening to jump off a building in downtown Boise. His mom, Melissa Walton, called Ada County Dispatch to get her suicidal son help.
I informed 911 that he had had a mental health crisis.
Boise police are under arrest. Show us your hands.
When police found Snow in a parking lot near Capitol and Murder.
So she called us. We have the same situation. It's just different, circumstances and different set of, race, a different race of people here. We have a white family, a white lady, a white mother. She called the police for help for her son who's going through some mental issues. So let's see what's going on.
They perceived a threat and shot the 26-year-old, ultimately killing him.
Show me your hands. I do not want to do this.
As you can
So you hear that? You hear the command. Show me your hands. I don't want to do this.
see in this video, Snow took a shooter's stance, pulled a hard black object from his.
Now we see. You can't do this, ladies. You can't do this. The police are telling you, show me your hands. This cop, show me your hands. Crouching like he's, like he's trying to have a shoot, like he's in the Wild Wild West. You're not in the Wild Wild West, sir. I mean, put whatever that is down, put your hands up, and pay attention.
Back waistband and pointed it at officers.
Come on now. How are we supposed to justify this? Put your hands up. That's not his hands up. He goes behind his back, pulls a black object and points it. What do you want the police to do with this? What do you want the police to do?
Investigators later found that object was a black speaker. Police officers shot Snow
Really?
in the head, neck, and torso. Snow died.
Now that sounds bad, yes. But as an officer and someone who's trained with a weapon, you're trained to eliminate the threat. You're not trained to counter the threat. So that's that.
3 days later in the hospital. His grieving mother wants justice.
I don't want someone else to go through what my son went through.
Walton filed a lawsuit on Friday against the city of Boise.
Where's the outrage? Where is everybody? I don't see the streets full up for her. Huh? Why not? Where I don't see no signs. I don't see no ramming of the doors, trying to get answers and justice. I wonder why.
Officers and 10 unnamed people. She and her attorneys claim the police officers wrongfully killed her mentally ill son.
They knew that he was a troubled kid, and instead of offering help, which is what the mother called for, she called for help.
How are the officer supposed to know he's a troubled kid? We pulled up and we asked with his hands up. He goes and reaches behind his back and point a black object at us. We don't know his situation.
They shot him dead.
When those 2 Boise police officers used deadly force, Walton's attorneys say they violated Snow's right to be free from unreasonable seizures, which is a violation of the Fourth Amendment.
What?
They also claim the officers went against their training and standard police practices and that the city and officers were negligent.
The DS.
What do you mean? He could have went behind his back and pulled a Tech-9 and shot both of us. I don't know. What are you talking about?
Escalation methods that they're taught is what they should have done here.
Through this lawsuit, Walton wants monetary and non-monetary damages for all she's lost through her son's death. Walton's lawyers.
Where's her privilege? I don't see anybody out here supporting this lady. Where's the outrage? I don't think nobody knew about this outside of Boise. And me and my #1 YouTube supporter. Nobody knew about this. I wonder where's the outrage?
Called the police officer's response inexcusable.
When someone calls for 911 and asks for help, when someone calls for 911 because of a mental health emergency, and when someone calls 911 for the police officers to protect and serve, that is not a death sentence.
In April,
I'll be damned. You know, you guys, I never thought in a million years I'd say I feel sorry for you guys. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. One year you're burning shit down saying you don't want me employed, you don't want me around, you want the animal thug running around, and you want the nut job running around. The next year you're saying I'm not there to protect you from a criminal. Now you're saying I'm not there to protect you from a nut job who's going nuts on his family, and I'm supposed to know he's going nuts, so now I gotta coddle the nut job, because if I shoot the nut job or hurt the nut job, I'm gonna get fired. Wow.
a prosecutor reviewing the investigation into the shooting cleared both officers involved. He said the officers were justified because they acted in self-defense. But Walton doesn't agree.
I also informed dispatch that my son was unarmed because I spoke with my son personally.
Well, ma'am, out of all due respect, that doesn't mean just because you spoke to him, that don't mean he wasn't armed. They don't know that.
She hopes policy change is on the horizon.
I hope that the officers get more training and better training. I hope there's more mental health crisis workers that are available to respond to calls like this.
While Snow is gone forever, he lives on through her mission.
In all honesty, I know it won't bring my son back, but I hope it can save someone else.
Walton's attorneys tell me they're waiting for the court to set a date for the trial. I asked Boise Mayor Lauren McLean's office for a reaction to.
You know, and you see, You see? Mm, 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 mm. And I wonder where's the outrage, you know? And if I'm Uncle Tom Coon for calling it out, man, what the hell are they?